Well, first off, great job today. You looked awesome. It's really good to see you back in the press conference on a more regular basis. Walk us through the day and how does it feel to be back up? First is still up there, I know, but second's nice.
Yeah, it feels really good, especially in the second moto where I got a good start and put myself in the position I needed to be. And I actually stayed with RC for a little while and kind of, I say a little while, a lap or two, where I could at least, he got the pass and went on. It took me a little bit longer to get around Millsaps, but he wasn't just yarding me, and I'm not used to that. Like the first moto, I got a bad start, and like the first lap, you look at this timesheet, they made 10 seconds on me in one lap, and that's just, it seems like every race, at the end of the race, I'm kind of catching up on Davey, but man, it's just so hard when you don't put yourself in a good position. I was eating dirt the whole time. The track, by Unadilla standards, was a little bit one line and kind of, was really wet and mucky when we first started. So, it's just putting yourself in a position is the biggest thing, and that's what I did today, especially in the second moto, and that's what got me the podium. The field wasn't full, but there were some riders that couldn't race or wasn't up to 100%. But it's part of this game now, because there's so many people crashing so much because the level has been raised and everyone just is, they want to hang out and practice. You ever watch my times, dude? I suck in practice. I'm like 15th fastest, and I just don't even worry about it, and it's starting to seem to pan out for me at the race, when the gate drops for race time, and it's a tough game right now because you have to be willing to push it to an edge that is going to have you crash. May not be today, may not be next weekend, but it will happen.
Speaking of that, do you have a good feel for where your edge is when you're on the track? Do you kind of know when you're at that limit where you know what, you need to settle in at that pace and not try to go after Ricky?
Well, I definitely don't try to. I don't ever. Well, knock on wood, I haven't crashed that much, and when I crashed and broke my arm, I definitely wasn't riding on the edge. It was just a freak deal, and it happened. But, I think that I am, but, maybe I need to push it a little bit harder. It's hard to really know where that edge is until you cross it, and coming back from an injury and all that, it just was something that I wasn't really ready to do, and, I'm slowly getting closer and getting closer to their speed and getting closer with the results, and I think, bike setup and just all that stuff. Every said a couple times a day. It seems like every race I learn so much, and there's never a race that we go to that we don't try something. And we're always trying to make advances forward. So, if you're not racing, then you're not only are you not moving forward, you're moving backwards just because you're losing experience, but then also your competition's learning so much, and that they're used to pushing it however hard or however hard they need to. And it was hard for me to come back, but finally I think I'm on the right page.
Cool. And then coming into Unadilla, it's kind of a special place for you. That was it 2 years ago you won one here?
Yeah,
two or 3 years ago.
Yeah, sometime.
You went 1-1, and then I think the weekend after was Washougal, and you went 1-1. Did you come into this event thinking that you ride well here and this was your day?
I'm trying to work that out of my whole program. It's so funny because typically I don't ride Southwick very well, but when you look back at my results, I'm always knocking on the podium door. I don't think I've ever won there, but had so many podium performances there, and if I wasn't there, I'm definitely inside the top 5. And so I try not to get. I got to come here, I got to race, but this track is one of the ones that I do like, and I'm a smooth throttle kind of guy, and a lot of times here it's rocky, and you got to kind of work up your insides and stuff, and it's hard to bounce off of things. So that definitely comes in your mind, and I guess on tracks like this, it wouldn't be bad to use it in my advantage. But if you use it in your advantage here, it's so hard to channel it out on a track that you may not like. But I felt like there was a huge load lifted off my shoulders when I got through Southwick, and it's been slowly progressing forward ever since.
Cool. And then comment a little bit on the starts. I know that's something you've been struggling with at the beginning of the season, and it's not something you really, at least that I recall, struggled with. You've always been a pretty good starter. Is there something different this year with the bike, or just a stuff, you think?
It's funny. I've been through 3 different mechanics in 3 years, and
because you're so hard to get along with.
Yeah, I'm a tough guy. But to be honest with you, it was something as simple as gearing this weekend. Typically, I run like a 14. I ran all the way to 1455.
Oh, wow.
I went out today with a 1454, but coming into the weekend, I was running a 1451. So I made a really significant change, and that's going back to the year that I was doing good, getting good starts, and winning some races. So It's been a while since I've had that gearing. The Honda guys are like, man, you got the most power out of anybody. Why are these guys beating you? And I was scratching my head, but something as easy as gearing is what really got me off the gate there in the second moto. And the only reason why I didn't get a good start in the first moto was because the bike was the same setup, but here at Unadilla, the track's grass when we start. Well, we don't get to use the start. So when you do a practice start, you're basically starting on grass. And I'd gotten to my body position where I wanted it to be. I was getting really good starts on the grass, but then all of a sudden you throw us back behind a gate and we're on dirt, and the thing just wheelied, and I gooned out, popped a huge pop-a wheelie,
Nice.
and did all I could do to keep it on one wheel for a little while. I didn't want to crash before I even got to the first turn, but anyway, so the second moto I was a little bit, I was ready for what was in store, and put my body position a little bit different, according to what I felt the first moto, and things worked out really well. I didn't get the whole shot, but I was damn close.